Hey guys, Rob Mitchell here. I'm going to do a little mini webinar here on how to lightning fast up your NinjaTrader. Yeah. How do you make your NinjaTrader lightning fast? Some secrets and tips that many have reported have helped them because of late the market's been moving really fast, get huge numbers of bars. NinjaTrader is doing massive numbers of calculations, and these are the tips for getting the most out of NinjaTrader under those kinds of circumstances. First off, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's a risk of loss trading futures. Don't use the grocery money for trading. In this video, I'm going to share some important concepts in getting the most out of NinjaTrader in today's crazy fast markets, advice, secrets that can help you up your trading game. You can benefit from this and these concepts, whether it be in the E-mini S&P, NASDAQ futures, crude oil futures, gold, or any volatile futures market you can day trade in. On crazy fast market days, sometimes market data can be delayed and the market can be moving so fast it's untradeable, or your machine can slow down. And under those circumstances, it's important to know when that's happening. And it can save you a fortune, because if you fire trades into markets that's not there, you can have a lot of problems with that. So in today's video, I'm going to cover some of these NinjaTrader tips that users have reported to me fixed all kinds of local speed related issues on their trading computers. And today's video is specifically going to be on local ones that are happening at or on your machine. And I will touch on data feed kinds of related issues as well, and give you some resources for that. If you want to speed up NinjaTrader, if NinjaTrader's slow, if NinjaTrader's lagging, if NinjaTrader's charts are lagging, NinjaTrader is slow loading charts. That's another one. I'll show you some tips on that. NinjaTrader latency. In general, NinjaTrader will tell you if you contact them, this is due to third-party software. If you just run NinjaTrader without any indicators or third-party software, generally speaking, you're not going to have an issue with these things. But if you're doing things with complicated data analysis software, these are the kinds of things that can happen. Yeah. And like I said, many have reported that what I'm about to show you can make a huge difference. Let's take a look at that. First off, the one I want to cover is how to reload data. Now in NinjaTrader, when you have a chart that's bogging down or having trouble loading, one of the first things you want to do is go to Tools, Historical Data, and bring up this window right here, this historical data window. And you can click this loaded button and you see the download one right there. Okay, so this is a E-mini S&P chart. Okay, and I can reload the data. In the case that NinjaTrader has gotten some corrupt data in there, it can hang up your indicators. So this is the first thing that you would do if you're having trouble loading. Okay, some things that I'm going to show you later. I click download and it will reload this. All right, I'm not going to actually press that for these purposes, and it takes a little bit of time. You'll want to make that load period. This is usually about a calendar week. If you're running lots of time on a chart, I'd want to make this go back a little further. In general, if you're doing things that go down and do tick level analysis, so you just click them all across the board and click download. And that very often will take care of problems related with NinjaTrader hanging up or being slow. The next one I'd like to cover is how does NinjaTrader maintain lines and dots and regions using the way that it does that is it uses resident windows functions. Okay, and so you can see on this particular chart on this trap trader oscillator is an example of it, that you've got dots on these. If I put a traditional trap trader oscillator on there, you're going to see lines and dots on there. If I just load a traditional one, I'll just say load a traditional trader oscillator, and that will look like this. It'll take a second to load because I have this in tick replay mode, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So it loads this data, and give it a second to complete that. Like I said, I got this in tick replay. This market today probably had tens of thousands of bars on the chart. So what's happening here is NinjaTrader is calculating every single tick on every single indicator. And so it can be a little bit slow when you've got tens of thousands of bars. You might have 40,000 bars. A couple days ago, I haven't measured it for today, but a couple days ago, it had upwards of 50,000 bars on this chart. 50,000 bars. So this would be an example. You go to load it, and it's slow like that. This is a traditional trap trader oscillator, as mentioned. And what you have here is you've got these dots on here, and you've got these lines on here. Yeah, dots and lines. Another one that can slow it down is one that where it shades in between. Like if you use the resident VWAP indicator in NinjaTrader, for example, it can shade in between the VWAP, and in some cases like that, those can use a lot of processing power as well. So if you've got any kinds of lines or dots on your indicator, it can slow it down, and that's because it's doing it with resident Windows functions, which is fine. But the problem is when you have like 48,000 bars on the chart, it's trying to maintain all these drawing objects on the chart. And so like everything that I cover in this video from this point forward is going to talk about how you manage that so that the thing's not trying to compute 48,000 bars every time you load the chart. And so as we go forward, keep these things in mind: lines, dots, and regions. Okay. So the next thing I want to cover is you can, in some indicators, it will allow you to turn those things off. And I'm going to, so like if I go into this, I'm going to remove this indicator. Now, this is another trick that I wanted to show you. I was going to do it in a minute, but I'm going to show you right now because we just added this one on here. I can highlight that by clicking it, and then I can just click the delete button, and it will take it off the chart. Okay. That's a trick or a NinjaTrader hack. Yeah, so you can highlight it and click the delete button. Sometimes you'll do that by accident. If you do it ever by accident and you didn't want to do that, then close your NinjaTrader and don't save the workspace and reload it, and it'll still be there for you. Okay, so for this particular indicator, the trap trader oscillator, what we've done here is we've got the dots and the lines are actually selectable in there. And so if I uncheck those, it will reduce the processing power substantially. And again, this is charts in tick replay, and I'll just take a look at how long this takes to compute. Okay, that's how long it took to compute. You saw how long it took to compute it a minute ago without the lines and dots on there, and this is exactly the subject of this. If you've got lines and dots, and you got 40,000 bars on the chart, that can slow you down a lot, but you can see I'm going to take them off. And if you want to make it even faster, this particular chart is in tick replay. And if I uncheck that tick replay, this thing's going to load like greased lightning. Okay. Bam. That's probably, like I said, 40,000 bars, I wouldn't doubt today. Yeah, for this particular setting. Here's another cool hack or trick that you can use. And this was not something that you could do, as far as I know, in NinjaTrader 7, but in NinjaTrader 8, you can actually do this. You go in and you select bars instead of 1 day. And then you just have, instead of having 40,000 bars on the chart, I just tell it, well, load 500 bars. Or even the number of the, even 100 will do it. Yeah. So I'll just say 200. Okay. Load it with 200. It got tick replay. This thing's going to really load like greased lightning. I didn't like it. I needed to load a little bit more than that. Okay. So I'm going to put like 500 bars on there. I might have to go in and tell it to change the way that it's computing. But what this thing will do when you load this is, if the data is just going across the screen really fast, it's just going to load it in from here. So it doesn't even matter if it didn't load those earlier positions. But what will happen is when you load this like this, because like a lot of times during the day, I could go over here and take a look at it. But you know, I have a whole chart on here, and from over here to over here is only 4 minutes. So this is 4 minutes of data, the whole chart. And early in the day, you could have, you know, the whole chart's only like 1 minute. Yeah. And so by setting it up this way with only 500 bars on there or 100 bars or whatever, you can have the entire thing not have any loading time at all, pretty much. And then it'll just do that for you. Yeah. So that's another hack. If you really want to get fast, that's another hack. And you don't need to have a ton of history on there or anything like that. That's another hack that you can do for that. Okay. What's another one that I wanted to show you here? I had mentioned that you can unclick that tick replay. I'll usually only use tick replay if I'm doing research. So if I want to see all the data on the chart and do some research and testing, I will load the tick replay, and it'll show me everything on there. Yeah, see, like that. Yep. Beautiful thing. So that's what I needed to do a second ago. I thought I had tick replay checked. Yeah. So just using this indicator to show some of these things, you know, uncheck for lines and dots, massive improvement. You can shorten the amount of bars that you have on the chart down to 100 or even just 50 if you want to, and use the tick replay and etc. What's another hack? Okay, for as long as we've been doing the stock index trading, we're going to use a 4/8 chart. Nothing wrong with a 4/8 chart. 4/8 chart's great. However, on a day when the market's super volatile, the bid-ask spread might even be greater than one of these bars. Yeah, and so you could, and this might be particularly the case, say if you're trading the NASDAQ, because you know if this thing is getting 48,000 bars, I'll tell you right now, the NASDAQ probably has 70, 80, even 100,000 bars in a day. Yeah, and so, but I've been for the last several weeks been trading on a 612 Smart Super Renko, and I really like this setup. I've been using a 612. And so that will also substantially reduce the number of computations that you're doing. Yeah, there's just a ton of bars on this chart. Ton of bars. What's another one you can do? I'm not even sure that was loading. But what's going on? I'm going to put this back to 1 day, no tick replay, and load the chart on a 612. There we go. Let's see, what's another thing, tricks or tips or hacks that I wanted to show you? Okay. Another thing that you can do is go through your indicators and check the on the setup, on the calculate. If you don't need that thing calculating on each tick, you can substantially reduce the amount of processing that you're doing by doing it on price change or doing it on bar close. Now, see how fast that loads. It's super fast. So another one that I wanted to show you. So if you've set this to only like 100 bars or whatever, and it fills in because the amount of data going across the chart's only like a few seconds, and it seems to be lagging, which isn't very likely, but just in case it is, you can always hit the F5 button and just reload it. Yeah, and then start from scratch. And that way, NinjaTrader's not trying to maintain all the lines. Now, we've already taken all the lines off on this chart, so that's not going to apply. But you've got other things, if you have other things on the chart that are lines, dots, or regions that I described earlier, then you can take those off. Now, if the chart's still lagging, and believe me, it shouldn't be, but if it is still lagging, there are other things you can do. Check NinjaTrader documentation for this. But you can go in, and I know people that do this every day. You can go in and delete your folders, your cache, your day, minute, and your tick. So let me pull up a Windows Explorer. And the way that you would do that is you go into My Documents in NinjaTrader 8. Okay, My Documents in NinjaTrader 8. And you can go into this cache and you can clear all these, okay? And that will very often give you performance enhancements. And another one you can do is go into the DB and you can remove the minute, the tick, and the day DB. I'm going to say it again. Check with the NinjaTrader documentation before doing that, because I don't want you to say, Rob, I did that and I had an issue. Yeah, but check with their documentation on that. But I do know people that tell me they do that every day. This machine is super fast. I just don't have issues with that. What's another one that you could do in an extreme case? If your database has gotten out of control big, this database right here, one of the things you could do is you could go in there and you could just gently click it or click it twice, and you could change the name of this to NinjaTrader old.sqlite. And if you do that and you restart NinjaTrader, it will make a new database. Now, I also would advise you to check with NinjaTrader and or NinjaTrader documentation before you do that. I'm not actually going to do it for this case, but if you delete it, then you'd have to go, if you wanted to recover it, then you'd go get it out of your trash folder. But if you just change your name, it'll stay in here. And if you don't like it after you change it, you just go back and remove that OLD that we just put on there and have it just pick up right where you left off. Yeah. So let me see if there's anything else here that I wanted to. So a whole bunch of just little tips just things that you learn over the years by using NinjaTrader. If it's still lagging, clear the cache, and then NinjaTrader will rebuild if you delete that out. What's another one? And I already did it. I told you I was gonna do it because I had put that other second trap trader oscillator on there, and I said, what's another way that you could get in performance enhancements? Well, of course, you could remove indicators that are on your chart that you don't need. Yeah, a lot of times I see traders will have things on there that they don't necessarily need. I do that all the time because I'm always doing research and testing different things with the indicators. And under those circumstances, I very often have indicators on my charts that I don't need. And when I'm trading, I may use a workspace that has charts in it that are stripped down to the bare minimum. Yeah, particularly like this week, where we're getting just, like I said, tens of thousands of bars. And so, like I said, you can just highlight that and click the delete button, and it'll just remove it from the chart. Yeah. If your NinjaTrader is generating tons of bars, and you have to consider whether the market is tradable with the bar settings you're using. Now, I already showed you about changing this to a 612 or some other thing. What are common ones I might use in the NASDAQ? When the NASDAQ's not insanely crazy, generally, if just my way of doing it, this is just my own personal thing. I generally won't look to go trade in the NASDAQ if the ES is already demonstrating that it's untradeable. Yeah. So, but under normal circumstances, if the ES was quiet and I wanted to get a little bit more action and look at the ES or the NQ, for example, I might use like a 1632 Smart Super Renko. And the way that I would change that is we already did. I'll go in here and make it 16 and 32 on the Smart Super Renko. Yeah, on the Smart Super Renko. These bars have a lot of features in them. You can do the tick replay, like I said, and you can also do all kinds of cool things with referencing. You can reference to the end of the chart. You can reference based on the open or the settlement. You can reference according to zeros or different intervals. You can also do offsets with these charts. Extremely powerful thing to do, because you can get entirely different liquidity pockets with these bars by shifting these references. That's all explained in the manual. Let's see what else I had for you here. Um, some other tips. So another cool one that you can do is if you use the chart trader, if you're a chart trader person, while you're trading, if you have any suspicion that you're lagging, I look over here and I go, oh, this is 53.96. If I don't see that this chart's somewhere around 53.96, I know I have a problem, because these are actually different feeds. And so if these two things aren't the same, you got a problem. So what's another one I could do that with? If you use a dome, of course, you can do the same thing. Or if you use the basic entry in NinjaTrader, the basic entry. Where is the basic entry here? I was going to pull it up for you. Yeah, basic entry, here it is. Yeah, so I could do for the ES, and this would give me the bid, ask, and the last right here while the market's trading, and the market's closed right now. Yeah, so that's another way you could do it, or on the dome. And you know, if this isn't approximately this, then the market's not where your chart's showing. Yeah, it's not where your chart's showing. What's another one? You can go on the NinjaTrader forum and get a free indicator there. One that I know, there may be others there, but you can get one called Chart Lag Time. Chart Lag Time. And this is a nice little freebie one on the NinjaTrader forum that let's see here, chart lag time right there. Okay. And what this guy does is if it goes beyond 1 second delay, then it'll show it to me. This is probably going to show a large. This isn't going to show it because the market's closed. But when the market's open, it'll show it on there. It'll pop up and show you if you're, because this market's been closed for hours, it'd be showing a big time on there. But that can help you to know if you're behind. Now, most of the time, all these things that I'm showing you in this video are not generally an issue. But when the market's generating the kinds of bars that we're talking about in this video, these are the kinds of little nuanced things that you want to know about. What's another one? You can do a internet speed test. You can do an internet speed test. And what's important is you pick a server. So like for this test, I picked a server over in Chicago. And this is showing me my ping rate is 97 milliseconds. That's approximately 0.1 seconds. Okay, so for my computer to reach the Chicago, it was about 1/10 of a second. Yeah, that's entirely acceptable amount. Even, 250 would even still be okay. Yeah, but it's good to know how much delayed you are from the region that you're communicating with. Yeah, for these particular kinds of applications. Of course, these download and upload speeds are just fine because the packets that are generally being sent for data are not that big. Yeah, but internet speed test, this one's speedtest.net was the one that I used for this. Yeah, and so that's another one that you can use to kind of get bearings on any kinds of latency issues that are related to your computer and the data feed that you're using. Yeah. What's another one? Okay, this is another topic that's a little bit off what I had today, but it came up on my brainstorm list for this. Is it worth it to have a server at the exchange? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do and what your intentions are. If you have an automated system, a purely automated system, that is generating trades without you having direct oversight in the moment, for that type of an application, you might consider a server at or near the exchange. But under normal circumstances, if you're trading off of a chart, that, in my opinion or in my experience, is a little benefit. Why? Because on that ping rate, you had to go all the way to Chicago, to come all the way here to get the data, pick up a little bit of a delay or whatever. But then by the time you place the trade, the information has to go all the way back to the exchange. If your ping rate there is about 97 milliseconds, as we saw on this thing, that's about 200 milliseconds round turn plus or minus. If it's about 375 milliseconds or something like that, you're talking about 3/4 of a second of delay round trip. Okay. Can you respond to something faster than that? Yeah, it's kind of at the threshold. About a half a second is as fast as a person would be. But because if you're trading off of a chart, it has to do a round trip anyways, you probably don't really have a lot of benefit to having your stuff on a server. You might find some different views on that. That's just my best stab at that kind of information. So let's take a look at what else we have here. I hope this has been useful for you. This went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but there was a lot of little nuanced things to cover, like I said. These are active things that we discuss in my trading room each day. All these kinds of things, when it's happening, these kinds of things come up. And this has been a large part of discussion today. I think we had some super interesting things happen this week in terms of data that usually isn't the case. Yeah. But I teach these kinds of concepts in more advanced trading technologies, trading secrets, tips, and associated nuances in my trading room daily. Consider joining if you enjoy these, having this kind of insight in your trading. All trading resources can be found at IndicatorSmart.com. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this. And one final thing that's important that I wanted to share is that if you didn't get everything from this video and you didn't want to go back over it and pause it and everything, which it might be good to watch it again, but go over to IndicatorSmart.com and go to the best practices page there, and scroll down a little bit. And a lot of the things and other things that we didn't talk about using NinjaTrader to its best and getting the most out of it and not getting yourself into bad situations with it are on this page, and other things as well. Yeah, so go over there to IndicatorSmart.com and enjoy that. And also you can get a free indicator there and other resources. I would certainly learn about 4 quadrants methods and other things like that on the home page. So that's why I say the resources can be found at IndicatorSmart.com. Thanks for joining me on this. If you enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel. There's tons of actionable trading methods on this channel, and I'm not giving you, holding back on anything. I just share stuff freely on here and have for years. And there's a huge number of videos that have actionable trading methodologies. If you see a video and you vibe with it, my intention is that would be helpful for you. So thanks for joining me on this video. Thanks again, and we'll see you again on the next one.